evening, Bhante.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Yes.
Good evening,
Yes.
Bhante and
Good
everyone.
evening, Bhante. Everyone.
Yes. Okay, once again.
Good evening, Bhante.
Yes, good evening. Once again, good evening, everybody. My friends. We are going to get started our class, online Pali reading class, date 73, by paying respect to the Buddha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahatu samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavatu arahato samma sambuddhassa. Today we are going to discuss verse number 49 and day 73. Yeah, still looking at the flowers and the connection between flowers and certain Dhamma concepts. Sometimes these flowers speak of good things, sometimes they speak of akusala experiences. But I think they both are important because we have to learn the both so that we can distinguish adequately. Flowers 49. Yathapi bhamaro puppang vanna gandhang ahete paleti rasamadaya evan game muni chare. Yathapi bhamaro puppang vanna gandhang ahete paleti rasamadaya evan game muni chare. Okay, so we will ask groups of reads. First, we'll be asking group 1 to read. Yes, someone from group 1. Anyone from group 1 like to read? Please raise your virtual hand. If not, we can go to group 2. Yes, Meghal, please.
Bhante. Yata pi mamaro upam wana gadam ati tayam paleti rasa madaya evam game muni chare.
Okay, great. And group 3. Yes, there are 2. So who would like to read? Is it Lisa or Chupeng? Okay, Chupeng, I'll give you the chance. Lisa.
Okay,
Please.
thank you very much. Yata pi bamaro pupam vana gandam ahetayam paleti rasa madaya evam game muni chare.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 4, yes, KB, please.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yatha pi pamaru upam. Vana gandang ahetayam. Paleti rasa madaya. Evang game muni chari.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
And group 5. Yes, Melinda, please go ahead.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yatha pi pamaro pupam vanna gadam ahitayam paleti rasa madaya evan game muni chari.
Okay, great.
Thank
and
you.
Group 6. Yeah, Pauline, please.
Sorry, Bhante, group 1.
You are group 1,
couldn't
so
click, yeah.
oh, okay.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
okay,
you wanna
Bhante, I can go later. Yeah.
later. Yeah, okay. Yeah, in group 6, I think I can take Samani, please.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yatha pibamaro pupang vana gandang ahetayang paleti rasamadaya ewang game muni chare.
Okay, great. And group 7, Maya, please. Yeah.
Bhante, I read Yata
Yes.
pe bamaro pupam yana gadam ate tayam
One V.
o vis.
V.
Vana gadam ahe tayam paleti rasam madaya ewam game muni kare.
Okay, great. And
Thank you.
group 7.
Bhante, I'm
Yeah,
from group
you're
7.
group 7. Okay, group 8. Yeah, group 8. Yeah, Doris, yes.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yata pi bamaro pupam vana gandam ahe tayam paleti rasa madaya ivam kame muni chare.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Okay, so now the opportunity is for others. So we will be starting with the Chupeng, Chupeng and the rest. Yeah, Chupeng, please go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Bhante.
Okay.
Yata pi bamaro pupang, wana gandang ahitayang, paleti rasa madaya, ewang game muni chari.
Great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Who else wanted to read? I think there was somebody, I can't remember the name. Anyways, you can join in the group. So we'll be asking Go or Oi. Yeah.
Good evening, Bhante.
Evening.
Yathapi bamaro pupang, wanagandang ahitayang, paleti rasamadaya, ewam game muni chari.
Okay, great. And then Pauline.
Sukyoto, Bhante.
Sukyoto.
Yata pi bamaro pupang, wana gandang ahe tayang. Paliti rasa madaya, ewang game muni chare.
Great. And we have Jenny. Jenny, we cannot hear you. Maybe you unplug and plug in your headset.
Can you hear now?
Yeah, now we can hear, yes.
Okay. Yatapi bamaro pupang, wana gandang ahe tayang. Paleti rasa madaya, ewang game muni chare.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Ochuwang, please.
Okay. Thank you, Bhante. Good evening. Yata pi bamaro pubam, wana gandam ahe tayam.
Pupam.
Pupam? Oh, okay. Sorry. Yata pi bamaro pubam, wana gandam ahe tayam. Paleti rasamadaya, evam game muni chare.
I still kind of hear B, not P.
Which one is it?
The first line. Would you mind reading again? The first line.
First line, okay. Yata pi bamaro pupam. Pupam.
Pupam, yeah, double P. There's no B.
Pupam.
Yeah, when you say pupam, that means before. Pali meaning is before. Pupa means before, early. So pupam is flower. PP, pupa.
Pupam. Is
Yeah.
it? Pupam.
Yeah, you said that.
So sorry, because I cannot hear so well. But that's
yeah. Okay. All right, and then yes.
Pupam.
Yes.
Pupam. Is
Yeah,
that
great.
correct? Okay, thank
That's
you.
correct. Yes.
Thank you.
And then TC.
Thank you. Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yathapi bamaro pupang. Vana gadang ahitayang. Paleti rasamadaya. Ivam game muni chare.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
We have sharing.
Thank you, Bhante. Sugi Hotu, Bhante.
People too.
Yata pi ba maro pupam. Wana gadam ahe tayang. Paleti rasa madaya. Ewam game muni chari.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Bhante.
Margaret.
Thank you, Bhante. Yata pi ba maro pupam. Wana gandam ahe tayam. Palenti rasa madaya. Evam gami muni chari.
Third line, please.
Third
Third
line.
line.
Palenti rasa madaya.
There's no N. There's no
Palenti
N.
rasa ma.
There is no N. Letter N is not there. It's paleti.
Paleti. Oh, sorry.
There's no
Paleti.
N here.
Sorry. Paleti rasa madaya. Evam gami muni chari.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Yes. And then Melin.
Sukirtu Bhante.
Sukirtu.
Yata pi ba maro pupang. Wana gandang ahe tayang. Paleti rasa madaya. Evang game muni chari.
Okay, great. And then Hema.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes.
Yata pi bamaro pupam vana ganda ahitayam. Paliti rasa madaya evam game muni chari.
Okay, great.
Thank you. Thank you,
So,
Bhante.
yeah. Who else would like to read? Yeah, anybody else? Annie, please go ahead. Yes.
Bhante. Yatha pi bamaro pubam vanna gandam ahe tayam paleti rasamadaya evan game muni chare.
Yeah, great.
Thank you,
And finally, Sumita. Yes.
Good evening, Bhante.
Good evening.
Yatha pi bamaro pupam. Vana gandam ahe tayam. Paleti rasa madaya. Evam game muni chare.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
All right, anybody else? Okay, looks like no one at this point. So we'll be discussing the literal contextual meaning with translation and also the story. The story is pretty interesting. Macharya Osia Sethi, it's a banker. It's about a banker. It's a businessman. What happened to him with regard to this stanza from the Buddha? Wait. Yathapi bhamaro puppang one gandhang ahe tayam as third H aspirate. Paleti rasamadaya evan game munichari. Now you can see there's a simile, and then the simile is about a bee, B. And the nature of a bee is as such that the bee is not going to hurt, not going to destroy a flower in taking essence, nectar. In the same way, a monk or a nun is supposed to behave with the followers, devotees. This is more about like when you are dealing with anybody. I mean, not even among communities, but also between any area where you are going to be subsisting on the things that they are offering to you. Let's see the Pali part. Yatha. So just like Bamaro means bee. Sri Lankans, they use bambara as a wasp, but here bamaro means bee. We know that there are certain ideas in some cultures. 7 bees, the poison of 7 bees are equal to 1 wasp, and the poison of 7 wasp is equal to 1 cobra. I mean, these are some of the cultural thoughts in some of the Indian cultures. So then, if you are attacked by 14 bees, that's going to be such poisonous. I mean, wherever you get attacked by them. But we understand here, just like a bee. Pupang. This is our attack word over there in the chapter on the flowers. Pupa. And one gandham ahitya. One is what you call color. Gandham means fragrance. Now, what is it alluding to? What is it referring to? It is referring to a flower. So then the color and fragrance of a flower. But what is the role of a bee? When bee is taking the nectar or essence from the flower, bee naturally does not harm the color and fragrance of the flower. That means bee should be better than us, right? I mean, when you want to offer things, you just go and plug it, right? You don't think about what's happening to the branch of that tree. But bee is naturally taking the essence, nectar, without harming the color and then the fragrance. Ahitayang, this word has to be discussed. Ahitayang. Hated. Has anybody found out this Pali word in your reading? Hated. Where is it mentioned? Hated. Because this is coming from hated. Hated means, I think a lot of people do that in society, in many people's lives. Ayang yakko hated. Ayang yakko ganhati. Where is it mentioned? Atanatiya Sutta. In the Atanatiya Sutta, Buddha was told by King Vesavana, or maybe you can say Kuvera, 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 the head of the demons, devils, Yakas. He told the Buddha, Bhante, when you teach your students, monks or nuns, when they want to go to the forest, you need to teach them Atanati. Now, this is why many people, they wrongly interpret Atanatiya Sutta. Like even in an overnight chanting, they are saying that when the monks are chanting the 28, Atanatiya Sutta, all the yakas are going to escape from the place. Is it what you have heard so far? But when you look at Atanatiya Sutta, the last sutta of the chanting book, don't know whether your chanting book includes that, the longest sutta in the chanting book. What is happening in the sutta is the king of the yakas approached the Buddha and then told the Buddha, please teach this Atanati, which I tell you now. The king Vesavana tells the Buddha to the monks, so that when they are going to the forest, they are going to recite this. So yakas and yakinis will not disturb their meditation or whatever the things they are doing in the forest. So it's not a chanting to chase out the yakas. Right? Yakas are not easily being chased out by anybody. But yakas cannot enter certain places where the Buddha and some other monks power. But rather than that, Atanatiya says that. In that Atanatiya Sutta, King Vesavana explains to Buddha, some yakas would like to hurt other people. Heteti means hurt. H-U-R-T. It's an interesting word. Like people do that, right? In societies, like people would like to hurt other people every day, How can they hurt other people? They can hurt by using bad words. They can hurt other people by being sarcastic. They can hurt other people by using their caste system and clan, lineage, money, poverty, richness, education, social power, right? And then some others might be hurting other people physically as well, going to be the worst in that hurting procedure. So the yakas are going to hate. Now, hateti, here, aheteyam comes from hurting, H-U-R-T. But here, what is hurting? Bees do not hurt a flower. Bees do not hurt the flower. How can someone hurt the flower? If they can stop, if they can cease the process of a flower, that is the place of hurting a flower. Then how many times have we hurt flowers? Right? I mean, we are not taking an idea, like a strong idea here. According to this stanza, if someone is going to stop the growth or the functioning of a flower, that means it's a hurting. It's a hurting to the flower. But we look at it from a practical perspective too. I mean, there are events that you need to bring flowers. Perhaps you are not plucking the flower. Somebody has done it, right? And then it can be a symbol of respect or other things, right? Now, say, for instance, somebody is going to give some bouquet of rose flowers on a Valentine Day, thinking about it. I'm thinking that that person can think, may those flowers, rose flowers in the rose tree, be the respect to you, be my appreciation to you. But people might not be felt in that way. But Rumi told like that. The philosopher Rumi, R-U-M-I, he said, in that philosophy, Rumi's philosophy, he says that you don't need to pluck flowers, because the moment you pluck the flower, you start to hurt the flower. The flower is not functioning anymore. That's why in some of the Pali commentaries, there is a saying that if you want to offer flowers, you can think about, may the flowers that I see in a tree be an offering to the Buddha. But the problem is, if the tree is not mine, how can I wish that too? That is adinada, right? You going by the road and you see a nice tree, maybe a tree of nice flowers, and then you are thinking, may the flowers in the tree be an offering to the Buddha. But the flowers, the tree is not mine. So how come I'm going to make the wish? So, I mean, we have to look at it, because Buddhism talks about everything from a mental background, not just a physical. So mentally, we have to be very careful when we are making a thought, when we are processing a thought. So aheteya means not hurting, just like a bee, without hurting the flower, but by taking the essence of the flower. And then, in the same way, what is happening? Rasa madaya. Rasa means nectar or essence. Rasa. Adaya means taking. Now, what is happening is that the bee is taking the essence. Rasa means nectar. Paleti, helping the tree to what could be the word? I think we know about pollens, pollination. Letting the tree to pollinate. The tree is growing just how the tree is supposed to grow. So letting the flower, letting the tree to pollinate, and then the pollination is happening at the end. I'm taking something, but I'm not hurting the tree. In the same way, what's happening is that Muni, this Pali word is interesting. Muni. Who is Muni? Any thoughts? You can say sage. Muni means, there is a chapter in the Dhammapada, I think it's Muni Vanga, maybe the last one, Brahmana Vanga. There are lots of teachings about Muni. Muni means someone who is dealing with his or her own akusala in a good way. Because we have to deal with them every day. Just by listening to a Dhamma talk will not take care of everything, right? You gather in the knowledge, you becoming maybe wise. But how are we going to really make that happen? Being able to do it in the real time. Being able to deal with our akushalas in the real time. It's like that you are going to do a research without the real-time data. What will happen to your research? Your data is 10 years old. And now you are going to do a research now. So your output not be very authentic, very, veracious, not authentic, not clear, not true, not a fact. In the same way, our understanding, our learning of Dhamma, then understanding that Dhamma has to go to a point that we are able to deal with the akusalas in the real time. Real time is the real time for practicing Dhamma. So real time means when the circumstances for dealing with akusalas are necessary, and you are going to bring them into the moment of time. So Muni means someone who is able to deal with one's own akusalas better than somebody else. Muni, of course, contemplative, a monk or a nun, maybe a good devotee, follower of the Buddha. Muni, evam, this way, game chare. Game means village. Game means village. Chare means move around, walk around. That means just like a bee is taking the nectar or the essence of a flower without harming its overall process, in the same way, a follower of the Buddha, in particular, you could say a monk or a nun or someone like that, going to walk around, move around in the village. That means a monk or a nun or a contemplative who is depending on the devotee's requisites should not disturb, should not be a burden to his or her followers. This is the idea. But I think still this is a little bit confusing to you, because we have to learn the story and then we will understand how it is going to work out. What is the story? Once again, the story is about Kosya. Kosya is the name. What does Seti mean in Pali? Seti. Seti means banker. Seti is a banker. Now, in today's world, who is a banker? Banker means someone who is working in the bank. But here, banker means a businessman. So, Kosya, businessman, Kosya. But he has been given another name. What is it? Macharya. At that time, certain qualities, good qualities, bad qualities were added to many people's names. Now, say for instance, Anathapindika is not the real name of Anathapindika. What is his name? Sudatta, right? His name is Sudatta. That means people started calling him that, the one who is supporting the people who are in need of food. But nobody knew Sudatta, right? So in the same way, we understand Macharya. Macharya means this is a akusala. Actually, it's worse than the greed. Now we have two akusalas for the situation where someone is not generous enough. What is the usual word that we are using for those people who do not like to give a dana, who's not generous? What is the Pali word that we are using for that person's state of mind? We usually say that person has lobha, right? This is the Pali word. Say this way, lobha. Lobha. But this is Macharya. So these two are referring to the nature of someone's not giving. But Macharya is called as stinginess. Normally we use it as stinginess. Or you can call it another English word, avarice. But better to use it as stinginess because everybody knows this word. Macharya, stinginess, lobha, greed. Does anybody know the difference between Macharya and lobha, stinginess and greed? Any thoughts about it? What is Macharya? What is lobha? Now, what is lobha actually? Lobha means when someone is not becoming generous that person is called as a person with lobha. Have we all of us removed our lobha already, or we overcome it time to time? When is my dana date? Oh, 5th of every month. That's a day of lot of generosity. But what about other days? 1st to 4th, 6th to 31st. What's happening? Am I equally generous? You have to ask from yourself. It's being self-critical about it, actually. You don't have any thoughts about it. It's up to oneself. So basically speaking, greed is something that you know that you are not giving something to other people. But it's more likely not even giving. It is arising from a source where you are very greedy about your things to be given. And then the Buddha is talking another level of greed as abhijja, not avijja. So greed leads to abhijja, abhijja visamalo. So let me draw something over here so you will understand. I'm talking about lobha, not avarice, stinginess. Lobha has two parts when it is going forward. First part is abhijja. Abhijja. And the second part, if you cannot even take care of yourself from abhijja, it will further go to another type of greed. We call it visama lobha. You see the lobha again here. Visama lobha. Now we have to understand what are these two extensions of the lobha. Abhijja means you are greedy about your possessions, what you have. This is abhijja. So greed about what you have, maybe belongings, things, people, very much greedy about them. And then visama lobha means greed about what other people have. Okay? Visama lobha means there are people who are not only greedy about what they have, but also they are greedy about what other people have. How do you know that whether you have a greed about what other people have? Sometimes you even don't know about that person, but you have a greed about it. A good example is, a very good example is, when you hear that there are people who are commenting about you, not in a good way, but you never know who they are. Right? And you are learning the criticism from a third party. Then what's the connection between you and that person? You are saying to the third party that I even don't know about this person, but that person is bad-mouthing about you somewhere. What's wrong with that person? Something wrong with that person. Maybe he or she has connected you to somewhere in his or her life. Are you sometimes trying to create a certain greed with the people, things that you don't have a ownership, you don't have a connection, right? There are people who are making that happen. So we call it visama lobha. It's not a normal lobha. It's a very distorted kind of lobha. So then lobha has two parts. Actually, it happens when you are intensifying your lobha, abhijja and visama lobha. But our discussion goes to macharya, stinginess. What is being stingy? Stinginess is something else. I think sometimes ago I told you that when you are doing a bad karma, the way how you are doing the bad karma depends on how much bad consequences that you would be paying for in another life or in this life itself. How it works means that, let's say there's someone who is going to lie, but this person is lying Perhaps this person doesn't know. Maybe he or she was not careful enough about life. It happens. So this is person A, the liar A. And the liar B is different. He or she is very conscious that he or she is lying. At the same time, on top of that, that person is saying that lying is okay, no problem. It's okay to lie. It's okay to mislead people. What do you mean by misleading here? That means rationalizing the bad karma. That is even worse. So more bad karmas are coming, more bad vipakas are coming to that person. Say, for instance, someone who is having a social drink in a party, right? And then there is person A, social drinker, understanding the limits. If you can avoid drinking, it's much better. But if there are situations where you cannot do that, it's up to you. But you know how you do that. And the person B is a heavy drinker, right? He or she doesn't want to eat anything, just drinking. Not even that. This person is saying that drinking is okay, no problem. He or she is rationalizing, justifying this idea, even to the other people. It's okay, you also drink, I also drinking. Rationalizing the bad thing. It is creating more bad karma. So never ever justify, rationalize bad karma. Just be shameful about that. That will help you to come out of the mess of the bad karma, future bad karmas as well. So stinginess here means there is someone who is not giving to other people, just like the person who has greed, because this person does not like other people enjoy what he or she gives. This is called stinginess or macha. So that means stinginess is worse than greed. That means actually the Machavya course here is the best example of this stinginess. Let's see what's going on. So there was a bank, I would say, businessman called Kosia, Kosiya, Kosia. And he was such a very stingy person. He never would like to, wanted to give anything to anybody. So one day, after he was returning from the palace, after discussing something with the king, he saw on the way, there was a man, very poor man, eating, you could say, there are different translations. Some people say pancake. Actually, it's called pupa. The Pali word is pupa. Let me tell that to you. Now we understand pupa is in different tradition. This is kind of a traditional food. So, say for instance, this was made from what you call milk, something like this. I can show you pupa. You can see these kinds of sweets in some of the Indian traditions. Yeah, something like this. We call it kawung in Sri Lankan tradition. Perhaps you may have eaten this food before. So this person saw that someone who is very, in different clothings, a poor person was eating one, you could say, pancake. See a pancake. He was having this pancake with lots of flies around the pancake. But he liked it. He liked this pancake. But he kept this desire, this thought to himself. So he went home. Now he wanted to eat, but he's thinking he doesn't like to eat it because if he's asking wife, can you please make me pancake? It's a very odd incident, very bizarre incident. Then she's going to cook for everybody in the palace. So he doesn't like to do that. He's such a stingy man. And then, so he doesn't talk to her now. He's sleeping all the day. So then she approached him asking, is anything going wrong over here? Do you need anything? He's always saying, no, everything is okay. So his main intention is he wants to eat this pancake, but he doesn't like to tell it to the wife because she's a generous lady. She's going to make it for everyone. Then, but when the wife was pestering about what's going wrong, he said, "Yes, I have a thought. I have something that I want to eat." And she said, "Why didn't you tell me earlier?" Then she asked, "What do you want to eat?" He said, "A few weeks ago, when I was returning from the palace, I saw one man was eating a pancake that looks very yummy, very delicious. I want to eat that one." But then the wife was asking, "Okay, tomorrow or maybe that day night, I'm going to make it for all the people in the palace." He said, "For what?" "You don't need to do that. You don't need to make it for everybody in the palace." Okay. Then I will make it only for the second floor people. And ask, "No, you don't need to make it for the second floor people." And then she finally came down to, "Okay, then we will make it for both of us. Why are you gonna eat?" "You don't have to eat. It's just me. So, okay, no problem." So then he further told things. "Okay, so you make it for me, but you're not going to make it here in this floor. We have to go to the seventh floor in the building." "Okay, no problem. I'll make it that way." And then, so now they both went up to the seventh floor with all the ingredients and the pans and everything. Now she started making. So she took a pinch of dough and then now making the what you call the thing. And now at that time, in that morning, the Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha. Now this is happening in the Rajagaha. Rajagaha means many kilometers away from Savatthi. So Savatthi was the place where Buddha was staying. So when he was looking at who is he going to help on that day, he found out Kosia and his wife. But the Buddha was busy on that day. So he asked Arahan Moggallana, there's a couple, this man is very stingy man. So today they are going to make pancakes. So he knows everything. So if you would like, you can go there by air and then bring them to Dhamma. Because I know if you go there today, by the end of today, they both can attain Sotapanti. That's why I'm telling you. If you go yesterday, they will never go to become Sotapanti. That means day is important too, like you are. You're adding a lot of meanings to the days. What's the day today? Day for the Jada, the Sakka day, adding days for different meanings. And then say, if you go today, and then if you do your whatever power with your levitation, there's a chance, not there's a great chance, there's a chance that they are going to become Sotamanas today. He said, okay, as you wish. So Arahan Moggallana went to this palace. Arahan Moggallana knows that they are in the seventh floor. So he went up to the sky and he's now levitating there. So then Macharya Kosiya saw, oh, what a disaster is this. That's why I came here to the seventh, but this monk is coming here asking things with the empty bowl. He was not very happy. Then he was looking at what's happening. And now the wife is making the pancakes over there. Then he said he didn't know who this monk is. He said, even you walk in the sky, there's nothing you're going to get today. Then Arahan Moggallana started walking here and there in the sky with his power. Then after a while, he said, even if you go to that side or this side, you are not getting anything today. And he went that way. Even you, create a smoke in the sky, you will not get anything. So he was starting to release a certain smoke in the sky. Then what happened? After a while, Macharya Kosiya got very scared because the smoke was coming inside the seventh floor. Then he was a little startled and then he was asking the wife, okay, it looks like he's not going away. So can you can you take a pinch of dough and make a small pancake for him? So, yeah, as you wish. So she took a very small pinch of dough and then just put it in the pan. And then what happened? That pinch of dough, due to the power of Arhan Moggallana, became the size of the whole pan. It became as the largest pancake at that point. He said, no, this one should not be given to him. Can you see the pancakes you already made? Can you try to find out a small one over there? Then what happened? They all got stuck together because of the mental power of Arhan Moggallana. So they were discussing, okay, let's try to pull one out. Both of them they're trying. Finally, they were very tired. Then Machari Kosia said, actually, this is wasting our time. Give this whole thing to him, and then we will make something else. And then there was Machari Kosia was starting to give this whole tray of pancakes to Arhan Moggallana. But Arhan Moggallana did not accept it. Said, I'm not going to accept this. So you need to offer this to the Buddha and all the monks. And then he said, okay, but there is a small problem. The Buddha is living almost in a very distant. So you have to go to Savatthi. Now you are in Rajagaha, Savatthi. Then he said how to go to that place because these pancakes will be not fresh enough when we go there. Then he said, if you don't mind, I will make a determination. It's like that. Now you are here in your palace, and in a moment of time, you are descending into Savatthi. So it is said in the story, he brought them with his power to the Savatthi in a moment of time because of this event. And then they both went to the Buddha and offered pupas, I would say pancakes to the Buddha and the monk. Surprisingly enough, they made some amount of what you call a certain number of pancakes. But when they started offering pancakes were not going to finish. There were more pancakes coming out because of the power of the what you call Buddha and Sangha. At that point, what happened? They could not even finish offering. So then it is said that in order to stop making new pancakes, they were asked to throw it, just leave it outside the Jetavanaram. So there is a place called Kapallakapua Pabhar. This is a very big rock, maybe a stone outside the Jetavanaram. If you have been to India, perhaps you might have seen that place near the pond. So it is said that the stone of the pancakes. So then they left the tray of the pancakes on that particular stone. Today also it is said that this place is called as the place of Macharya Kosi and wife left the tray of the pancakes. So what happened? At the end of offering, Buddha gave a Dhamma talk about stinginess. Why stinginess is a hindrance to a setback to our spiritual journey. And then finally, they both attain Sotapatti. Now, very interesting, right? So that means this Macharya Kosi has never listened to a Dhamma talk, never been to a retreat, never been to anywhere else, never seen any monk before as well. But what happened to him? That means the right time matters for someone to understand Dhamma. What is this right time? Maybe the idea he wanted to eat pancakes alone, only for himself, going to the seventh floor, was the indication of his future Sotapan. So that means now we are always thinking, we want to do good things, we need to be good people. But sometimes when things happen, not in a way that we want to happen, we always take it to such a bad day, such a terrible day. But maybe that terrible day may be the indications of your potential in life. Just like what happened to Macharya Kosi, right? So they both, I don't think there was a problem to the wife of Kosia, but she had to go with him because he was her husband, and Macharya, so the stinginess that Kosia had was the indication, was the reason how he was approached by Arahan Moggallana, finally attained Nibbana. I think the most important part here is not this story itself. We can discuss about Loba and Macharya separately because it is relevant to your dana practice. I think you all are engaged in dana activities time to time. You would like to offer dana. You would like to be generous. Now, in Buddhist teachings, dana is not just offering to the Sangha members. Dana is a personal activity, right? Offering Sangha members is one of the highest activities, especially when you want to give merits to the departed ones and the other people. So, dana has to be a daily activity. How can dana be a daily activity? Do you have to send food to somebody every day? No. We have to have the dana thought, generous thought. So, how to maintain, how to create dana thoughts every day? That's a very good question to think about. Now, how to become generous from morning to evening? So then we are not going to be very much confused and then stuck with what we do rather than how we going to create dana thoughts. Now think about the Buddha's early thought in the morning. Who am I going to help out today? This is compassion at the end. But before that, something that you want to give to other people. Now, are we learning from the Buddha's life? Are we? If you say you are learning from the Buddha's life, so every day when you wake up, what could be your first thought? How am I going to help somebody, help someone today? Right? So it's a dana. So you have to give something. Your maybe your time, your thoughts, your money probably, certain things. That's a dana thought. So Buddha had taught us. It is important to do that kind of a thought. Not even that. Buddha is giving this thought 2 times a day. Morning, he's having this thought, who am I going to help out today? It is said that for the most time, Buddha is going outstation to help out people in the morning, compassionate thought. And by the evening around 6 o'clock that time, is again doing that. Who am I going to help out today? But for that time, he's not going out. He's trying to help out someone in particular who is coming to him. Maybe he might be sending a certain Buddha image to someone, like Matta Kundali story. Buddha did not go, right? He sends the Buddha sent his, a Dhamma image of the Buddha, right? And then Matta Kundali saw that Dhamma image of the Buddha, not the real Buddha. By looking at that Buddha image, he was happy about this image and he passed away and he was reborn in a heaven. Right? So what I was trying to say is that generosity not starts in the temple. Like charity begins at home. Your generosity starts by the time you woke up. Right? But what could be the thought of many people in today's world when you wake up early in the morning? How many bills I'm going to pay today? Where I'm going to go? Who am I going to disturb today? Will I be able to make more profits today? See what's happening. You have to do that too. But the first thought, isn't the first thought mattering to us on the day? And the last thought of the day, are they not mattering to us? Because first thought is the one that you are making. And the last thought is the last thought. Who knows you're going to die in the sleep? How many people are dying in the sleep, in a coma or other heart attacks and those problems? So that means the last thought is the thought that you purposely taking. The thoughts that are happening in the subconsciousness, they are happening as a response to your last thought at night. Why do I say so? Say, for instance, you have an argument with somebody at night. And then you have to sleep, right? Maybe you have to work tomorrow morning. And then with that argument, with whatever situation, you go and sleep. Now, you think that you are not thinking. Yes, you are not thinking. But the thoughts you invested before you sleep, they are running around. That's why you are dreaming about certain similar things at night. So that means, what if you're going to die at night? At that night, think about your future, your destiny. That's why first thought and last thought matter. Now you might think then the rest of the thoughts are okay. No, they are not okay too. I mean, you have to be careful too. I mean, because in the morning, I'm telling you some boundaries here, morning and evening, night. What about millions, billions of thoughts that are coming to you in the form of happiness, unhappiness, greed, generosity, hatred, loving kindness, ignorance and wisdom, and bunch of many thoughts. I'm telling you, why don't we learn from the Buddha? We may not be able to become the Buddha, but at least we learn from him. We always go to the Sutta Pitaka and learn all these suttas given to other people. But we hardly learn from the Buddha's life. How did he start his day? How did he go to sleep? So then, that is the first thing that I suggest for us to practice, generosity in our daily life. Actually, if we start our day like that, how pleasant will our day be like during the day? We are now today, in today's world, people are talking positive vibes, inspiration, what else? Motivation, right? So if we are starting like that, we have the best motivation, we have the best inspiration. And then on the other hand, now what are the other forms of generosity? I think we've been discussing that for the most part. It's not even giving things to other people, but also sharing our Dhamma knowledge. Is that a very interesting dana? What is the highest dana in Buddhism? The Buddha talks about it in Samyutta Nikayas.
Gift of Dhamma.
Gift of Dhamma is the highest dana. And if anybody here thinking that from tomorrow I'm not going to give any dana to the temple, I only give Dhamma dana. That's such a very, very bizarre idea. Wrong way of understanding what I say. What the Buddha said was, Annado balado hoti. If you give food, next life you'll be strong. That means if you are weak in this life, some lack of some dana problems. If you give food, you become strong. And then, Annado balado hoti. What do you call? Vattado Vannado hoti vat. That means if you give clothings to other people, you become beautiful. You become pretty, handsome. If you're thinking you are not pretty enough, handsome enough, start giving clothing to other people. Yanado Sukhado Hoti. That means helping other people's transportation, giving rides and all that helps you having overall happiness. And Deepado Hoti Chakudu. That means if someone is offering and giving light, that means light in not just the oil lamps or candles. If you are helping someone to have light, what you call this illumination, helping out, maybe even you are donating to the temples for their electricity bills, those temples, pagodas, and these places, because you think that this is necessary when somebody comes to the vihara. The place is all good. People can see the statues and the place is all good. And you are supporting that. And that helps you to have a good eyesight. Your eyesight will become very good if you are offering as such. Not even the temple. You may give to other people who even don't have a light in their house. Sometimes there are people who can't even afford buying a bulb in their house for different reasons. So that's what the Buddha says, offering, giving light. And then finally the Buddha says, Dhammadana. Dhammadana here means Yocha sabbadatu hoti udadati pasyan. In that, the Buddha says that if you are giving a Dhamma to other people, the true Dhamma, right? You have to learn Dhamma properly, not just a little knowledge of Dhamma. Just 1, 2 suttas are not enough. You have to learn it widely. I always say, wide learning of the Dhamma. Sometimes you learn only Satipatthana Sutta and you talk about that you know all the Dhamma things. No. Satipatthana Sutta is one part, Samma Sati. What about other lot of suttas in Yaluvada Sutta? There are many suttas. A wide reading of what you are supposed to learn. And then what is going on? You have to understand how to give this Dhammadana. What is a good way of giving Dhammadana? Now, in the Malaysian context, we know that the books that were written by, especially the books written by, what you call, Venerable Kesri Dhammananda's book. I mean, these books have really helped out many people to understand basic Buddhism. Now, this is very important. In today's world, not many books are there to talk about basic Buddhism. All are talking about Vipassana and all these, very, very complicated areas of Buddhism. So we have to teach them basic Buddhism. How to be a good person in this society. How to be a good husband. How to be a good wife. How to be good children. How to manage our finances. How to manage my family. How to deal with difficult people at work. Perhaps in your house as well, sometimes. Right? This is Buddhism. We have to talk about this Buddhism first before we touch down those things. Right? So then what can you do? If you don't know Dhamma, if you are not a good person to teach like that, you are supporting somebody who is doing that. Reprinting books, sharing digital knowledge of Dhamma. Right? Not even that. Sometimes sharing Dhamma books not necessary, not enough. Sometimes people have problems in their life. Maybe you are listening to them and then you are thinking something to tell them as an answer. I think you have a problem. I have learned something like this. If you would like to practice it, you can practice it. This is what I learned. You are sharing your tiny Dhamma knowledge with that person, and that person holds that knowledge to himself or herself. Start practicing from tomorrow. What the transformation you are doing to that person's life. That person will be ever grateful to your Dhamma knowledge. This is Dhammadana, right? Even teaching Pali, teaching Sutta, right? All are Dhammadana, right? Because you are going to lead the light in person's mind. So then, what we need to understand here is that is the highest dana, but depending on the time, we have to engage in other forms of dana. What are they? One of the very biggest problems in today's household is not listening to the other person, not being able to listen to the other person. Why is it? Most of the people would like to go by a non-verbal communication. Chat, WhatsApp, Viber, right? Right. So in order for someone to talk to somebody else in the house, this message has to go to the US database and come back to that country. Why? You are all in the same house. You are not talking. Right? Why? No, it's not important to talk, It's the same thing I do. Send the message, they will see, I'll see the message, I'll send. Why is it? You are not happy to give your time to other people. Dana in the house is broken already. Now think about teenagers, young adults. What are they saying? I'm not coming to the kitchen to help you out, to the mother, in most places. Prepare my food, I'll come back. Just ping me, right? Not even that. What's happening? Where's the communication? When the communication is going down, more insecurities, more intolerance, not forgiving each other will come as a consequence of that. So that means think about how to give your time, to the right people in your life. That's very, very important. It's a done. How many people are approaching us, telling us, Bhante, we are giving dana every day, but my family is a mess. What's wrong with you? The problem is, no, we don't have a good time. That means not. And when you get to the bottom of the problem, they are not communicating. So this is the real dana. Start from this dana first, and then go to the temple after that. You are making a mess in your household, and then you are thinking physical food is the only way to give that. So then look at different angles of that. Giving time to other people. Not even that. Now, communication is number one, and then giving other people time to talk. Does it happen in today's world? Do people give enough time for other people to respond? Or they just cut it off? No, 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 I know what you talk. You're not even giving time. I know what you're gonna talk. How come you know what I'm gonna talk? Right? So that means it's a two-way journey. That means making time for the loved ones, others to talk, and then giving time to listen to those people. So they are best forms of dana generosity. I'm telling you, starting from the early morning thoughts and evening thoughts and the thoughts in between dana, and then being able to give time, being able to listen, they all are part of dana. And then what else? There are many things that you can relate to this understanding. And then what else? Let's talk about giving material things. How are we supposed to do that actually? That's an interesting. In one of the suttas, Buddha says, that's perhaps in Samyutta Nikaya or Anguttara Nikaya, if people know the importance of giving food, maybe sharing the food, nobody will eat without share. If people know as much as I know about the importance of dana, giving food to other people. If you cannot give, that means you are not that affordable, at least sharing. If people know the importance of giving and sharing dana as much as I know about the dana, they would have never eaten any bit of food in their plates. That means giving and sharing, they are such important. But the problem is our knowledge is not that wide enough to understand dana. For us, dana is just to bring some food to the temple, give it to the mother's birthday, father's death anniversary. That is our way. At least it's better than not giving anything. But now we have to expand the horizons of this dana thought. We are not able to afford to give everybody food, right? But we understand. At least we are doing something for these people, others, in the best way possible. That is about the physicality part. What about if we cannot give? We're going to share things that we can, right? So that's why Buddha says in many suttas about dana with two Pali words, dana and samvibhaga. Let me send you that here. There are two words with regard to generosity. Dana means giving, but sometimes we cannot give because we have only that particular thing. We cannot give it to other person. At that place, on those occasions, we are going to samvibhaga. We call it sharing. Dana samvibhaga, giving and sharing. Okay. So it is taken in a way that when you can give, you give. When you cannot give, at least you share. Right? If you cannot share, then what's going to happen? At least you're going to think that, is there another way that I can help out this person? Right? So this is something that we are looking at it. Now, what do you call this dana thought has to be always with us. It should not go away from us. Right? And another very important thing is worth discussing. That is how to give a good dana. And it's a Dhamma talk topic actually. We can talk, but depending on the time, I will make it brief. In the sutta called Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta, what's the number of the sutta? It's in the end of Majjhima Nikaya, Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta. Okay, Majjhima Nikaya 142. And in 142, Dakkhina Vibhanga Sutta, Buddha is talking the best dana, how to give the best dana. I mean, material dana. Okay? Material dana. So he's talking about some of the qualifiers. The first qualification to give prerequisite is the giver needs to be a worthy person, sila person. The giver should have at least 5 precepts. Why is it? Why is it? In order for a dana to be fruitful, create more good karma, the giver, the donor, has to be virtuous. How can you become virtuous? At least you are going to Make sure that you are not into killing, stealing, sexual misbehaving, lying, and then not taking food and beverages to an extent where you feel you are clouded to make a judgment, sound judgment about what's happened. Now, that's not the only one. Number one is you are going to be virtuous. Think about whether this is happening in your dana experience, okay? I'm asking you to cross-check this, number one. Number two, the recipient, the one who is receiving your dana, is better to be virtuous as well. How to know that that person is virtuous or not? You can't check it, right? But if that person is virtuous, you are very lucky, right? Because you never know what's happening after. So, Sangha member or whoever is a virtuous person who is into Sila, Samadhi, Panya, and then practicing in that experience. And then your Silava, Silavanti, Sudradana, Dhammena Laddam. The money that you use to buy the groceries and the food has to be ethical. That's important. In today's world, most of the jobs are complex jobs, not like during the Buddha's time, right? You can't hardly find an entirely ethical job, right? Even with the money we are paying for the government as tax. What are the governments doing with our tax? Are they doing the ethical things? Then who are supporting governments to do those things? And is our company doing the best? You can think about, okay, I'm in a green company, supposing you are in a green company, maybe you are educating people, but my friend is in a distillery or a tobacco company, and you are trying to make a difference. Oh, okay, see, you guys are actually making very unethical stuff. But tobacco company person might say, no, I'm not the decision maker over here. I just do it. I have no other job. Nobody is giving me a job. So there are issues like that. So we cannot say no Buddhist should work in a distillery company. No Buddhist can work in a pub. No Buddhist can work in a tobacco company. No Buddhist can work in as a police officer, soldier, as a lawyer, where you have to make tough decisions. The idea here is that you are making sure your money comes to you by not cheating on other people, by not breaching the 5%. So that is good money, ethical money, right? So the purity of your finances that you use for dana. At least you think you have some money that you earn in bad ways, don't use that money. And you are thinking using the ethical money for the dana, right? This is the way. But when it comes to generosity, different people do different things, right? It's a very different topic, charity-based institutions where they can get a tax-exempt receipt, where they can claim a rebate. But anyways, you know the way now. The third thing is that purity of the devotee, donor, purity of the recipient, purity of the money that you use to buy the grocery and all that. Then what's happened? Supasanna Chittu, the purity of your thoughts. You can see the mind. How to purify your mind? Because we are always struggling to purify our mind from morning to evening. When you go to the retreat, you are always trying to purify it. Some people are already purified before going to the retreat, so no problem, nothing to do in the retreat. You are thinking you're going to retreat already purified. But the real purification should come during the daytime, not when you are not participating in the retreat. That's the real purity. How to make it? The Buddha is saying, with regard to dana, what is the purity of the dana? Does purity mean you go and buy the superfood, expensive food, and no junk food? Yeah, I'm concerned about it. If I can afford, I afford healthy food for the monks, right? If I can afford. If I cannot afford, what to do? I go buy the food that I can afford. But if I can afford, I buy the healthy food because I want them to be healthy too, right? Not that I want to give something to them, make good karma, and then make my next life good. That's very selfish, right? I'm thinking in a very larger, broader perspective. My dana should not disturb anybody's life because it has to be good in all ways. So then the purity of the mind or thoughts here means the purity of your thoughts before the dana and purity of the thoughts during the dana, purity of the thoughts after you give the dana. Now, say for instance, you want to listen to somebody. It's a purity of your thought in another section. But here, now you are going to give a Sangika Dana. Then you are going to purify your thoughts. What are the thoughts of purity? No loba, no dosa, no moha. So the moment that you are organizing with somebody or maybe doing alone, lots of kusala thoughts arising, building, being maintained by you. Now the day is coming, the real day. Now you are going to the place, you are offering pindapata or you are offering food to the Sangha members. So during the time also, you are maintaining, may I not have any loba thought, dosa thought, moha thought, right? You are happily doing that. You are not disturbed by anybody. You are not disturbed by anything that is happening over there. Not thinking, oh, I brought everything from my house, but not the pudding, not my particular dessert. I think I dropped my dessert in my house. And ever since you are not happy because you left it in your fridge in the house. What's wrong with that? It's okay because you just continue your dana. Don't try to be perfect. Try to be perfect in the dana. If you try to be perfect, then you have self-hatred. Why? Because every time you are labeling yourself, I could have done better, I could have done better. I could have done a better dana. So then you are not happy, you are not giving you acceptance. Right? So you're thinking that it's okay, I forgot it, but maybe I can do something over here. And then you are continuing your good, pure thoughts, kusala thoughts, alobha dosa. That means dana, metta, panya. Now dana is finished. Okay, dana is finished. You are having your lunch and then you are going home. Now this is the moment we are calling purity of the dana after the dana. Some people, they want to do a post-mortem about the dana. This can really go haywire. It's like you do a big katina and then now you are looking at the katina ceremony back again. How much money you spent on that. Sometimes people don't do accountancy with regard to the meritorious activities. Because the good karmas are not countable, right? But if there was a discrepancy in the items, yes, you're going to look at it because you are responsible for people, for the money that you got, the donation. So it's very important to keep the same good thoughts even after the dana. So let's say you gave dana last year, but you are still having very good thought. Why is it very important? Every time you think about your dana activity in your house or temple, you are happy. If you can be happy in all those moments, you are making merits. You are making merits just by being happy for the good karma you did. If you are asking me how to measure, how to create more good karma, you don't need to sometimes go and do individual karma. If you can keep your good thoughts about even one good karma, you are still creating more good karma. So that means purity with regard to the 3 times of your mind. Before the dana, pre-dana thoughts, during dana thoughts, and then after dana thoughts. But now the list is not yet complete. Supasana Chittu, Abhisaddahang Kama Palangula. The next thing that matters is that you should have a strong belief about the karma and the results of the karma. That's very important. Why is it important? We understand that every action, every intentional, volitional action creates a result. What do we call it? Kamma and what's the other one? Vipaka. Kamma is the action, intentional action. Vipaka is the result. We don't call the kamma as a result of kamma. The result of kamma is vipaka. And for those who don't know this Pali word, we can say kamma is volitional action. And then vipaka is the result of that kamma. Okay, kamma and vipaka. Now the Buddha is saying that according to the Paticca that's the central conception in Buddhism for whatever things, cause and effect. There's a cause, and that cause causes an effect. What is it called? Actually, this is a common sense understanding, cause and effect. But if you go to a scientific interpretation of this cause and effect, they are adding something else. What are they adding? No. Cause cannot become effect. There are conditioners that cause to create effect. Conditioners. Why is it? Sometimes there are two people going to the same temple giving dana, but one is creating more good karma, whereas the other one is not making that level of karma. Why is it? Why is that? Same dana. Maybe the person who is making more karma is not even spending that much money. Why is it? It's the thought. It's building up the kusala thoughts, right? So that's why we cannot say, okay, everybody does a dana, but they all get the same result. It's very difficult to be assumed. That's why there are so many conditions that condition cause to create an effect, right? So in this way, cause and effect through the conditions are being created with regard to your dana. That means kamma and vipaka. Now, for somebody, actually, there are a lot of misconceptions with regard to kamma. What is the very famous misconception with regard to kamma? If you ask from a very normal devotee who does not have a very wide reading about Dhamma, what will that person tell you? See, everything in my life is karma, right? See, I'm suffering a lot. I've been offering a lot of things to the Buddha every day, but my life is still miserable. Somebody was telling me this. I said, what are you offering every day? Mango. I said, change mango to dragon fruit, because Buddha is so fed up of your mangoes, Same thing. At least you change your mindset, bring different food. Apples. No, somebody told me Buddha likes mangoes. So change your way of thinking over here. So then at least you are looking at it differently. The way you are doing things could be different at that point. And then you are creating more good karmas in a better way. Right? So that's why a lot of people think everything that they are experiencing due to the karma. It's a big no. It's a wrong statement. Because in the Girimananda Sutta, Sivaka Sutta, and many suttas, Buddha is saying, not everything in our life happens due to karma. There are other reasons why things are happening. Right? So then, what does it mean by having a strong belief about karma and result, vipaka? We don't have to think that everything is happening due to karma. But most of the things can happen due to karma. It's a very case-by-case thing. Right? That's why when somebody was asking Buddha, is there a linear process for the karma? Like I also do the same karma, my friend also does the same karma. No. It's not a linear process. It can go zigzag, it can go differently. Sometimes it is linear, sometimes it's non-linear. It's not happening through a straight line. So it should not dishearten you. What is it doing for you is that understand if you do good karma, you are supposed to get good results, vipaka. If you do a bad karma, you may perhaps definitely get bad vipaka. But sometimes, depending on the way and the conditions you are creating for the karma, different results can come. Right? So we cannot expect the same thing. So then when these requirements are happening, your dana is going to be successful. You're going to definitely do a better dana at that point. At the same time, Madcharya will be definitely impeded by your actions. So you can't do a dana if you have Madcharya. So in the case of Madcharya course here, what we learn is that Madcharya course here, at the time he had a lot of desires to eat pancakes, but he even concealed the idea of happiness from his wife. And even when the wife said, let's make it for both of us, he even didn't like it. So what kind of a stingy person is this? right? So there are people like that. So we are understanding the preciousness of giving, not just the physical food giving. We are starting our generosity from the moment we are up in the morning and till the morning we are sleeping, because the rest of the time we can't control at night. But during the time also we are concerned. So the idea, the lesson today is that let's try to work on our dana in a better way, understanding the conditions of the dana, make it in a way that the Buddha told us. So that will help us not to become someone who will become greedy, perhaps in the worst case, become stingy. The idea of the stanza is about Arahan Moggalla. Now, other monks were talking good about Arahan Moggalla. Oh, such a, see, Arahan Moggalla could have eaten all these pancakes and brought them to his own. No, no, no. He brought this couple to the temple. What a good monk is that? He brought the couple to the temple, let the couple offer all the pancakes to the other monks. That means he is not someone who is depressing devotees, the newcomers to Buddhism. So he is somebody who's like teaching Dhamma without hurting the people, without pressurizing the people. That is the idea of the bee. Just like the bee is taking the nectar out of the flower, without hurting, without destroying what you call the flower and then the fragrance. In the same way, people who are distributing, delivering Dhamma should not hurt anybody and give that message without hurting. But the idea, the story comes because of the stinginess. All right, any questions for today? You can ask. Yes, Pauline, please go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Bhante. In his past life, the banker's past life, he was also very stingy, right? I mean, there's a story of how he was so stingy, and then his father was Saka, and then came down, and then taught him a very big lesson, and then he started being generous. But it's just curious that in the next lifetime he was stingy again. That's why I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
Yeah, it's very true. We are bringing our sansaric habits to the next life. So we are carrying them forward, right? So that means the maturity happens. Like when you are having a investment bank account, you are carrying forward the interest. In the same way, we are carrying our sansaric habits to the next life. So that means if you feel that you are more compassionate, the secret of being able to be more compassionate should not be a random activity that must have happened in this life itself. That means you must have been supported by previous lives' activities. And say, for instance, there's somebody who is really nasty, at the same time grumpy, angry, jealous. These things are not just environmental things too. They might have been carrying them. But Mancharya Kosya was very lucky to see the Buddha on top of his stinginess. So he was able to, actually, how he was able to get rid of this problem? Because of the Buddha's dana. Every morning he's looking at people, who am I going to help out today? As a consequence of that generosity, then it became compassion, great compassion. He was able to ask Arhan Moggalla, go and help that person. If not were the Buddha's compassion, if not were the Buddha's generosity as a thought, he would have been still with us in the samsara. So, sansaric habits, yes, we must have developed them. Perhaps one reason why we might be in the samsara at a time we know a lot of Dhamma could also be one reason, because we may have not developed our Sila Samadhi Panya enough in the sansaric life. So we need to practice more and more. Yeah. And there's a question in the chat over here. Can you explain about more of the Vibhanga, please? Perhaps I'm going to send the sutta here, Dakina Vibhanga Sutta, so you can see the prerequisites. Yeah, any other questions? In the meantime. Yes, Jenny, please.
Yeah, Bhante, Since abhijja is Greek about own possession, can we say macharya is a form of abhijja, stinginess, that you are not willing to share?
Yeah, we can see something like a duplication with regard when we look at interqualities of the loba here, but it is different. Why is it different? Now we have to pick up an Abhidhamma teaching over here. In the Abhidhamma, I'm not actually recommending you to learn a lot of Abhidhamma, but there are certain important things. In the Abhidhamma, there are 52 mental states, Chetasika. In that list, Abhidhamma clearly defines that Macharya is coming out of dosa, while Lobha coming out of Lobha. Now, why is someone not giving under the Macharya means he is not happy. He's not happy when other people enjoy one kind of a hatred. But the person who is having a greed, who is just becoming greedy of what he has, is not having that what you call unhappiness in terms of someone is enjoying it. So it's just a greed. So greed and hatred, they are taken differently. So Macharya is taken as a part of hatred. If you go see the Abhidhamma's Chetasika list, there are other things. Macharya, Issa, jealousy is part of hatred because I don't like for that person's happiness. Then remorse, ukucha is also coming from hatred. Lobha and ditti, they are coming from lobha. Now ditti, take ditti, wrong views, political wrong views, social wrong views. What happens to people when they are having strong views about life? They are creating a lobha towards those views. So ditti and lobha work together. But if you look at it from this way, you might see, but if you look at the real functioning of the Macharya is more towards that you hate other people use what you have. You hate. But you don't hate you don't hate for you when you're not using them. Let's say you have a lot of food, you are not simply using them. You don't hate yourself. But when it comes to Macharya, you hate to be experienced that particular food by the wife in your family, right? I think about it, some households, there are people who are hoarding. Even the person doesn't like other people touch that thing. These are 30, 40 years old stuff in the house. Professional hoarders. So it's different. According to the Dhamma, Macharya is coming from hatred, dosa, while Lobha is coming from Lobha. But as you asked, Abhijja means that you are having covetousness. That means you are having a strong greed for what you have. And when you have Visamalobha, it's also Lobha because you have a strong greed for what other people have, but you don't have hatred for what other people have. You have no hatred. You simply don't like it. Yeah. All right. Any more questions? We can take one more question and we will wrap this up today.
Bhante,
yes.
For Macharya, can we say that besides generosity or dana, the antidote could be mudita, that you appreciate what other people have and not to be stingy about what you have or what other people have?
Now you are asking whether we can bring jealousy to the Macharya?
Mudita. Appreciate.
Opposite of mudita is Issa. That means Issa means jealousy, envy. So the problem here is that it's not, I think there is no Issa because it's my stuff. If it is my stuff, if somebody is using that, I don't have a jealousy over that. The problem is I don't like it. Don't touch my stuff. Don't use them. Don't eat my stuff. So that's more towards that's more towards what you call Macharya, hatred, but what you call Visamalobha and Abhijja, they are part of Lobha. So there is a kind of Mudita as well. I mean, there is no mudita because mudita is somewhat disturbed in that Macharya too. Yeah.
Thank you, Bhante.
Yes, Hemant, you have a question too? Yes.
Yes, Bhante is related to the same one. The Visamaloba is a greed of what other people have, right? Is it being envy of what people have or being greedy of what people have?
No,
Visamaloba.
envy or jealousy. Envy or jealousy. Actually, it's not envy or jealousy. It means that let's say there is someone whose friend has something that the other person very much likes. So perhaps this person is going to highly take it, I mean, take it very seriously, even approaching that person, don't sell it. I also like this. It's not a kind of jealousy over there. Rather than that person, the person who has what you call Visamaloba would like to encourage the other person, just keep it with you. I really like it. So it can be a very serious thought after that. It's more towards that the person is greedy about what the other person has, just like what he has in his life.
To me, the greedy, Bhante, greedy is really you want it more. You want more out of whatever the person has.
That's another state. Greed is taken in terms of Buddhism as that you have a strong liking for what you have. Then in order to develop that, you may have wants.
Wants.
So that is called tanha. That's the highest stage.
Desire, yeah.
No, that's called craving.
Craving, yeah.
Wants. That's the highest stage of loba. But loba with regard to avijja visamaloba still lower than the tanha.
Okay, Bhante. Thank you. I see that. Thank you, Bhante.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So at this point, we'll be going to wrap this up by transferring all the good karmas. May all the good karmas we be creating today by learning about this stanza number 49, about loba, and then two parts of the loba, avijja visamaloba, and then Macharya, in particular with regard to Macharya Kosi, and all the other Dhamma teachings, such as how to become generous, how to give a dana, physical dana. May all these good karmas be transferred to all the departed ones. May they be well and happy. May they attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyatayu. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyatayu. Idam me nyati nang hutu sukita huntu nyatayu. May Deva Naga Mahindika receive all these good karmas as you are celebrating the day of the Jade. May all these good karmas be upon all the Devas, starting from 4 guardian Devas, Virupaka, Vesavana, and all Dattaratta Devas, and all the Devas starting from Sakka, Indra. May all these Devas receive all these good karmas. May they be well and happy. May they protect and bless all of us for good health, quality of life, prosperity, and safety. May they finally attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Ittavata cha amhehi sambhathang punya sampadang sabbe deva anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambhathang punya sampadang sabbe bhuta anumodantu sabbasang patti siddhya. Ittavata cha amhehi sambhathang punya sampadang sabbe satta anumodantu Sabbasang patti siddhya. Aka sattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu sasanang. Aka sattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahittika punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu desana. Aka sattha cha bhummattha devanaga mahittika Punyantang anumoditva chirang rakhantu man parang Chirang rakhantu tvang sadati. Next, we are moving on to the Dhamma wish. Our Dhamma wish is to be surrounded with Kalyana Mitras all the way to Nibbana. May we be able to continue, deepen, sustain our noble friendships, Kalyana Mitra friendships, while grateful to the Buddha, and then grateful to the fellowship of Kalyana Mitras all the way to Nibbana. Thinking thus, we are going to make the wish. Imina punya kammena mami bala samagam Satang samagamu hotu yavanibbana patiya. Finally, may all the good karmas we be making today, our 70th day, be supportive and helpful for all of us to attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Abhivadana silis nichang vadha pachaino chattaru dhamma vadhanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti iminati samicchati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. With that blessing, would like to wish you a pleasant evening and singing to see.
Thank you, Bhante. Thank you.
Bhante.
Thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante.
Good night,
Sadhu,
everybody.
sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu.
thank you,
Bhante.
Bhante. Sadhu,
Thank you.
sadhu.
Sadhu,
Thank you,
sadhu. Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you,
Sadhu,
Bhante.
Bhante. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Sadhu,
Bhante.
sadhu,
Okay,
sadhu.
bye.
Bye.
Good
Sadhu.
night,
Yes,
everybody.
thank you,
Take care.
Bhante.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bhante.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, see you.
See you.